Have you ever noticed how fragile our peace really is? It takes years to build a reputation, decades to build a character, but only 1 second to lose your mind. One careless comment, one dismissive look, one message left unread. In an instant, your chest tightens, your logic shuts down, the animal inside you wakes up, ready to fight or flee. You are hijacked. But here is the paradox that few people understand. We blame the person who threw the stone. We blame the comment, the insult, the trigger. But as the old Buddhist masters taught, no one can trigger you unless something inside you allows it. Imagine being untouchable. Imagine walking through a storm of criticism, judgment, and chaos, yet remaining as calm as the deep ocean beneath the crashing waves. This is not a fantasy. This is a skill, a discipline mastered by the wisest souls throughout history. Today, we are going to dismantle your reactions. We are going to explore 11 ancient principles to end emotional slavery and reclaim your sovereignty. But be warned, this journey requires you to look at the only person you have been avoiding, yourself. Stay until the very end, because the final lesson, the watcher, is the key that unlocks the cage forever. Narrator, let this truth settle gently like a leaf falling onto still water. The wound reacts, not you. Have you ever wondered why a simple sentence from your partner or a casual joke from a colleague feels like a knife to the heart? Why does it hurt you, but the person next to you wouldn't even blink hearing the same words? Think of a bell. When you strike a bell, it rings. The sound does not come from the hammer. The sound comes from the emptiness inside the bell itself. If the bell were solid, filled with sand, striking it would produce only a dull thud. No resonance, no drama. Your reactions are the ringing of the bell. They are not caused by what is happening now. They are the echoes of what happened then. Pain lives where awareness has not yet arrived. When someone says something that stings, they are not creating a new wound. They are merely touching an old one that never healed. Let's look at Thomas. His wife says, "You forgot the trash again." It's a statement of fact, but Thomas doesn't hear a fact. Inside Thomas, there is a 6-year-old boy who was constantly told by his father that he was lazy, useless, and irresponsible. When his wife mentions the trash, she isn't speaking to the adult Thomas. She unknowingly strikes the bell of the wounded 6-year-old. Thomas explodes. He shouts, "I do everything for this house. You never appreciate me." Is he reacting to the trash? No, he is reacting to the shame of being called useless 30 years ago. This is the tragedy of the human condition. We are rarely arguing about the present moment. We are arguing with ghosts from our past. Imagine your mind is a lake. The ripples on the surface are your emotions today. But the cause of the ripples is not the wind. It is the stones that sank to the bottom long ago. Every unhealed trauma, every swallowed insult, every moment of rejection is a stone at the bottom of your lake. When someone triggers you, they are simply stirring the water, causing the mud from those old stones to rise. Narrator, softer tone, intimate. So, ask yourself this difficult question. What old story speaks before I do? When you feel that sudden flash of anger, pause, ask, is this reaction about this moment, or is it about a time when I felt small, unheard, or unsafe? The moment you identify the wound, you strip it of its power. You realize that the person in front of you is not a villain. They are just a messenger revealing to you where you still need to heal. To be untouchable is to heal the wounds so that when the world strikes you, there is no echo, just silence. Narrator, why does a minor inconvenience feel like a personal attack? A car cuts you off in traffic. A waiter gets your order wrong. A friend forgets your birthday. These are sparks, tiny, insignificant sparks. Yet for many of us, they result in a forest fire. Why? Because the ego turns sparks into fires. The ego is the dry leaves on the forest floor of your mind. It is made of accumulated pride, insecurity, the need to be right, and the desperate desire to be respected. The more dry leaves you have, the more you cling to your self-image, the easier it is to set you on fire. Buddhist wisdom teaches us, when the self must defend, peace cannot stay. The ego is a fragile construct. It is like a castle made of glass. It looks impressive, but it lives in constant terror of being shattered. It hears every tone, every pause, every glance as a threat to its existence. The ego whispers to you, they don't respect you. They think you're stupid. Don't let them get away with that. And suddenly, a simple feedback on a project becomes a battle for your survival. You defend, you attack back. You spend 3 days replaying the conversation in your shower. You are burning. But realize this, you are not burning because of the spark. You are burning because you provided the fuel. Now, imagine a different state of being. Imagine sweeping away the dry leaves. This means letting go of the need to be seen a certain way, letting go of the need to be the smart one, the important one, or even the victim. When the forest floor is clear, a spark lands and simply fades. It has nothing to cling to. When you have nothing to prove, you have nothing to lose. This is the ultimate freedom. If someone insults you and you have no ego to defend, the insult is just sound waves moving through the air. It passes through you like wind through an empty window frame. Narrator, direct and challenging. Ask yourself, what identity are you defending so fiercely? Are you defending the image of being?
There is a famous story told of the Buddha. One day, a Brahmin, furious with the Buddha's teachings, approached him and began to insult him. He threw words like stones, calling him a fake, a fool, a beggar. The Buddha listened, calmly, without a single ripple on his face. When the man finally ran out of breath, the Buddha asked him a soft question. Tell me, if you buy a gift for someone, and that person refuses to accept it, to whom does the gift belong? The man was startled. He replied, Well, if they don't take it, it belongs to me. The Buddha smiled. Exactly. You have brought me insults and anger, but I do not accept them, so they remain with you. This is the secret of the empty boat. You suffer because you take ownership of words that were never yours. When someone hands you a bag of poison, you don't have to eat it. You don't even have to hold it. You can simply look at it and say, No, thank you. In our digital age, we are constantly handed gifts we don't want. A rude comment on your photo, a passive-aggressive email. Your instinct is to pick it up. You say, How dare they say this to me? The moment you say, to me, you have signed the receipt. You have accepted the package. Now the poison is in your system. To be untouchable is to become a mirror, not a sponge. A sponge absorbs everything, dirty water, clean water. It holds it all. It gets heavy. It starts to smell. A mirror reflects everything, but holds nothing. If you stand before a mirror and scream, the mirror reflects your screaming face. But the moment you step away, the mirror is empty again. It carries no memory of your anger. Can you be a mirror? Can you let people's words hit your surface and slide off, revealing their state of mind, not yours? If a stranger speaks in a language you don't understand, you feel nothing. Why? Because you attached no meaning to the sound. You can choose to treat insults in your own language the exact same way. They are just sounds. They are just vibrations. They only become pain when you decide to claim them as your property. Stop signing for packages you didn't order. Stop accepting gifts that poison your soul. Let it belong to them. Let them carry the weight of their own anger. That is their karma, not yours.
Why is your mind so loud? Why does it scream the loudest exactly when you feel the most alone, unseen, or unsupported? We often think overthinking is a disease of the brain. We try to silence the mind with distractions, entertainment, or medication. But Buddhist wisdom whispers a different truth. The mind is loud only when the heart is unseen. Imagine an empty temple hall. When the hall is empty, the wind blows through it, howling, echoing, creating a terrifying noise. The thoughts rushing through your head are just that wind. They echo because the space inside you feels hollow. Restlessness arises where presence is missing. When you abandon your own emotions, when you ignore your sadness, your fear, or your need for rest, your mind rushes in to fill the gap. It analyzes, it exaggerates, it creates drama, not because it wants to hurt you, but because it is trying to get your attention. It is a child screaming because the parent has left the room. Now try this. Instead of fighting the noise, talk to the heart. Visualize softly lighting a warm candle inside your chest. Feel its gentle glow touching the dark corners of your inner world. Say to yourself, I am here. I see you. I am listening. As the light of presence grows, the echoing winds begin to fade. Thoughts quiet down, not through force, but through warmth. The mind no longer needs to scream when the heart finally feels heard. In our noisy world, we mistake silence for weakness. We think if we don't respond instantly, we have lost. If we don't have the last word, we are defeated. But true silence is not an escape. It is a weapon. It is a discipline. Look at the archer. Before the arrow flies, there is a moment of absolute stillness. Is this stillness empty? No, it is full of potential power. He who masters silence masters himself. When you react instantly, when you defend, explain, and argue, you are firing arrows blindly into the dark. You are letting your ego pull the trigger. The response comes from fear, not wisdom, and usually you regret it 10 minutes later. But silence breaks the rhythm of chaos. When someone tries to trigger you with an insult and you offer them nothing but a calm gaze, you disrupt their script. They expect a fight. You give them a mirror. In that pause, you gather your energy. You reclaim your center. You step back from the edge of the cliff. Silence is the refusal to let the chaos outside dictate the weather inside. It allows your awareness to rise before your emotion does. So next time the storm hits, do not speak immediately.
Draw the bow. Hold the tension. Breathe. Wait until you can speak from clarity, not from the wound. That is the silence of a king, not a coward. Why are we so terrified of letting go? We believe that holding on to our anger, our rightness, our past gives us strength. We think if we let go, we lose control. But look at your hand. A clenched fist is useless. It cannot receive, it cannot hold. It can only strike or destroy. Letting go isn't weakness, it is mastery. Imagine you are holding a rope attached to a wild horse. The horse is running, dragging you through the mud. You are screaming, exhausted, bleeding. You think you are controlling the horse, but in reality, the horse is dragging you. You have only one choice to reclaim your power. Open your hand. Most of your suffering comes from the grip, not the event. You grip the memory of an insult. You grip the expectation of how people should behave. This gripping consumes 90% of your energy. You're so busy holding on that you have no hands left to build the life you actually want. To be untouchable is to be like water. Water flows because it does not cling to the rocks it passes. It moves on. Imagine unclenching your mental fist. Feel the tension leaving your fingers. Let the need to be right slip away. Let the need to fix them slip away. Suddenly, the world stops feeling so heavy. Mastery is not about controlling the storm. It is about realizing you don't have to carry the storm in your pocket. Remember, only the empty hand can carry peace.
What happens when you are invited to a war and you simply don't show up? Most of the chaos in your life is not happening to you, it is happening with you. Drama is a game. It requires two players. It requires a victim and a villain. It requires an accusation and a defense. Think of drama as a fire. Fire creates heat, smoke, and destruction. But fire has a fatal weakness. It needs oxygen. Your attention is the oxygen. Your reaction is the fuel. Without you, the fire suffocates. You become untouchable when you stop participating. Imagine a colleague trying to pull you into office gossip, or a family member trying to guilt-trip you into an argument. They are handing you a script. They want you to read your lines. They want you to get angry, to defend, to cry. Burn the script. When you refuse to play, you don't just win the game, you dissolve it. Visualize yourself blowing out a candle. Use the gray rock method. Become as boring, unreactive, and solid as a gray rock. Give them brief nods. I see. Okay. Watch how quickly their energy drains when they realize their chaos has nowhere to land. Why do we feel such a desperate need to be understood? We waste years of our lives writing mental paragraphs, rehearsing speeches, trying to explain our hearts to people who are committed to misunderstanding us. We think, if I just explain it clearly enough, they will see I am good. But here is the brutal truth. Emotional freedom begins when you stop explaining yourself. Every time you justify your actions, you hand your power to the judge. You are saying, please tell me I am allowed to exist. A prisoner explains. A king decrees. Does the wolf explain itself to the sheep? Does the sun apologize for rising? Does the river ask permission to reach the ocean? No. They simply move according to their nature.
Try this practice. The next time you make a choice that aligns with your values, whether it's leaving a job, ending a relationship, or setting a boundary, offer no defense. State your truth clearly, and then stop talking. Let the silence do the heavy lifting. You will feel a surge of anxiety. That is your ego panicking. But if you hold your ground, that anxiety will turn into a rock-solid self-respect. Your life is your message. Don't dilute it with subtitles. Why does the past still hurt? Is it because the event was tragic, or is it because we keep resurrecting it? Pain persists only when you touch it often. We are like the traveler who keeps returning to the thorn bush, surprised each time that it still pricks him. The mind loves to revisit the crime scene. We replay the breakup, the failure, the betrayal. We analyze it from every angle, hoping that this time the ending will change. But a wound kept open never heals. Every time you touch the memory with your attention, you reset the healing clock. You flood your body with the same stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline, that you felt 10 years ago. Your body doesn't know the difference between a memory and a threat. You are re-traumatizing yourself voluntarily. Healing is not an investigation. Healing is a departure. It is the discipline of walking past the thorn bush without stopping to say hello. When the memory rises, acknowledge it. I remember you. And then, deliberately, gently, turn your attention to something else. To your breath. To the sensation of your feet on the ground. To the sunlight on your skin. Leave it alone. Let the scab form. Let the scar fade. You become untouchable not by erasing your past, but by refusing to live in it. The thorn cannot hurt you if you are miles away, walking towards your future.
Why is peace so hard to hold? Perhaps because you are trying to strangle it. We live under the illusion that control is safety. We try to control how people see us, how conversations end, how the future unfolds. But control is a cage disguised as a shield. Peace arrives when you no longer chase control. Look at your hand. The harder you squeeze water, the faster it escapes. Control creates resistance. Resistance creates tension, and tension is the enemy of flow. You are exhausted not because the mountain is high, but because you are carrying the mountain on your back. Surrender is not defeat. Surrender is wisdom. It is the understanding that you cannot smooth the rough waters with a flat iron. You can only let the water settle itself. When you stop forcing your inner world to behave a certain way, the war ends. Imagine saying to the universe, I trust you. Do what you must. Feel the weight drop from your shoulders. Triggers lose their sharpness because you are no longer trying to defend a fortress. You have opened the gates and found that there was no enemy waiting outside. Only wind. Where does pain live? Does it live here, in this breath? Or does it live in the memory of a breath took 10 years ago? The present moment cannot hurt you. Triggers are time machines. They pull you backward into a past that no longer exists. But the now is innocent. The now is like a fresh layer of snow falling gently over a scarred landscape. Every scar, every mistake, every trauma is covered by the purity of this single moment. Look at your hands right now. Are they in pain? Listen to the room. Is it attacking you? Feel your breath. Is it judging you? No, the threat is only in your mind. When you root yourself in the now, you step out of the storm of memory. You return to the untouched snow. You are safe here. And now we arrive at the final secret, the key that unlocks the ultimate freedom. Who are you? Are you the angry thought? Are you the racing heart? Are you the hurt child? No, you are the one watching them. The watcher can never be wounded. Imagine you are the mountain. Your emotions are just the weather. Clouds pass, storms rage, sunlight comes and goes. Does the mountain panic when the storm hits? Does it try to chase the clouds? No, it simply witnesses. It remains vast, still, and eternal. Shift your perspective. When anger rises, don't say, "I am angry." Say, "I see anger passing through." Step back. Sit in the seat of the witness. From this sacred distance, no insult can touch you. No weapon can cut you. No fire can burn you. You are the sky, not the clouds, and the sky is always untouched. This is the path of the awakened one, to respond from clarity, not wounds, to choose presence over patterns, to stand in a peace that no one, absolutely no one, can steal. The journey to becoming untouchable does not happen overnight. It is a practice, a daily return to the center. But now you have the map. If you have walked this path with us until the end, prove it. Leave a comment below with the words, "My peace is untouchable." Let this be your vow. Let this be the signal that you are ready to stop reacting and start living. Subscribe to Deep Wisdom. Join the few who are mastering the inner world. Until next time, stay still, stay free.